Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're jumping right into a really beautiful chapter called The Unwrapped Gift. We're going to talk about what it actually means to receive a truly precious gift, why we sometimes completely ignore it, and how we can finally, open it up.
So have you ever left a gift completely unopened? Just imagine for a second. You get this beautiful, perfectly wrapped present from someone who deeply loves you. But instead of tearing into the paper to see what's inside, you just set it on a shelf. You choose not to even look. Sounds pretty crazy, right? Like, who would actually do that? But as we'll see, we might actually do this way more often than we realize.
The author shares this really relatable true story. She gave her 5-year-old son a birthday gift. He tears open the wrapping paper, huge excitement, right? But then he sees a family board game inside, and his face just drops. He's so disappointed because it wasn't what he expected. And surprisingly, he actually asks his parents to wrap the game back up and just save it for another time. He wanted to go look for a different gift instead.
Now, the author connects this little story to a famous quote by Abraham Lincoln. He once said, in regard to this great book, I have but to say it is the best gift God has given to man. He was, of course, talking about the Bible. And the author uses this quote to highlight that the Bible is exactly that, the ultimate perfect gift given to us by the Creator.
Which leads us to a really crucial question. Do we ask God to wrap the Bible back up? Just think about that for a moment. Do we treat the Bible just like that 5-year-old boy treated his board game? The author asks us to consider if we keep our Bibles close by. Maybe it's sitting right there on your nightstand, but we leave it unopened. It's almost like we're telling God, not right now, wrap it back up. We do this because, let's be honest, we'd rather play with other things in our busy lives that just seem more fun in the moment.
Part 1. Why ignore the Bible?
It's actually amazing to stop and think about the true value of this book. The author tells a story about a friend who gave her this funny, confused look when she mentioned she was reading her Bible. Her friend was just surprised. But look at the history here. It's literally the most published book in the entire world, in any language. It's one of the oldest books we have. Throughout history, people have smuggled it in secret, they paid big money just to get a personal copy, and tragically, many have even died for it. The point here is, if it's been so incredibly precious throughout human history, it should probably be just as precious to us today.
So why the hesitation? Well, here's a list of the most common excuses we use. Things like, I'm too busy right now to find the time, or I'm tired and I just doze off when I read. Maybe it's, I get distracted easily, or it's out of date and irrelevant, or even, I've heard it all before, or I'm just not a reader. But perhaps the deepest excuse of all is, I feel inadequate, or I haven't lived right, so God can't speak to me. The text points out very strongly that these are actually the lies whispered by the enemy. According to the source, these lies are specifically designed to keep us from opening those pages and finding the life-changing power inside.
If you've ever felt inadequate, please remember this. The Bible is a living book for regular people. The author reassures us that you absolutely don't need to be a scholar or a deep thinker or some church leader to understand it. It speaks directly to everyday men and women. It's described as a living book, which means you can read the exact same story 10 times and then discover completely new truths that speak directly to whatever you're going through in your life right now. It's amazing.
Part 2. Basking in the light.
So the source contrasts living in a dark world with standing in the morning light. Think about walking through a dark room at night. You stumble around. You feel nervous, maybe afraid, and alone because you simply can't see clearly. Now compare that to the morning light. When the sun finally comes up, you feel relaxed, you feel happy. You can see everything around you, both the beauty and the pain, with absolute clarity. You feel warmed straight through to your soul.
And this perfectly shows how the source views the Bible. Jesus is described as the light of the world who warms us up and makes things clear. Reading the Bible is exactly like turning on that morning light. It shines directly into the dark, scary corners of our lives, it gives us clear guidance for the road ahead, and it warms our hearts when we're feeling cold or just lukewarm.
To really experience this, the author uses 2 very specific words to describe how we should approach reading the Bible. The first word is bask. Now, to bask simply means to relax in warmth and enjoy your time. Think of a cat sleeping in a warm sunbeam on the floor. That's the feeling. The author is inviting us to relax, drop our anxieties, and actually enjoy spending high-quality time in God's Word, rather than just rushing through a chapter like it's a daily chore. The next word is linger. To linger means to stay longer than necessary because you simply don't want to leave. Imagine talking with your absolute best friend at a coffee shop. You don't want to leave the table, so you stay just a bit longer. The source encourages us to do this with God. Stay with God a little longer each day. Don't want to close the book because the connection is just so warm and real.
Part 3. Time for reflection.
So here are 4 specific questions from the source to really help you reflect on all this. Number 1, what role has the Bible played in your life? Number 2, looking back at those excuses we talked about, which reasons for not reading the Bible can you relate to the most? Number 3, be totally honest with yourself here. How would you rate your relationship with God right now on a scale of 1 to 5? And number 4, how can you practically bask and linger with God's Word this week? Take a moment to pause and really think about your answers, because if the greatest gift in the world is sitting right next to you, isn't it time you finally unwrapped it? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.